started with in the beginning. And only Lester used it, and a few other people, that's okay. But today I want to focus on time words. I want to focus on putting your speeches in the context of time. Because the progression of stories can be made or broken on the way you use time in your stories and the way you bring out the time in your stories. Now, I'm sorry, Chloe. 我一个动是最近，我觉得这个很好。Recently, okay, so she started with 最近 right at the beginning, right? But I can't really evaluate your speech well enough, so I'll just leave it there. But I want to start with Darren, and Darren used a technique that I often use in a speech. In 2021 or in 2008, he uses this expression in this year to really take us back or put us in that year where he is actually performing that action or where that story is starting from. And he did it twice. He does it in 2021. I was in the evaluation contest. In 2008, I went for this interview. Now, that's all very good, right? But then how can he use time to make it better? Because he says, in 2021, I entered this speech contest, this evaluation contest. And he gives us this whole spiel about people speaking fast, and then he finally gets, yeah, and then it's my turn. But you can use it, do it so much better. You say something like, and then my minute, my moment, my second arrived. Contestant number 8, Darren Fong. Create the suspense by using time. And so I think you could do that much better with even talking about your father. And this is also something I'd say to Eric as well. You both spoke about your parents, right? And you were talking about your father giving you the advice, and Eric, you were talking about your mother teaching you how to ride bicycles. But tell us the time. What time was it? Like Darren, you kind of went home, right? But tell us the time. It was 7 o'clock in the evening. You could say, was it in the morning? Was it 8 o'clock in the morning? Was it 2 o'clock in the afternoon? And around that you can create an atmosphere, because in the evening, it was a cool winter's evening. It was 7 o'clock on a cold winter's night. You could say, it was 2 o'clock on a steamy, hot afternoon next to the river. And now you're giving yourself the space to create further feelings about your stories. Eric, in your speech, you also spoke about how you went on this bicycle trip, right? But when did that happen? That happened on the 100th anniversary of your university. But when was that? Was it 5 years ago? Was it 7 years ago? Was it 10 years ago? When was it? Tell us. In 2007, it was the 100th anniversary of our university. Then you're putting us in time with that story as well. We kind of know when it was. And on that story, you could also explain to us the time it takes to actually take the journey. Like, how long was that journey going to be? Jalwin, it's always hard to evaluate your language, but I do have 1 or 2 suggestions for you. Lester kind of said it differently. You said, I have been feeling down recently. Lester kind of put it in the past tense. He just said, oh, lately I've been down, sorry, I was down lately, right? But I think it was, I've been feeling down recently. How long? 1 day? 1 week? 3 months? 1 year? How long is recently, right? So if you said, for the past 5 months, my life has sucked. I've been feeling down. Now we have a context of how long this trauma's last. I mean, if you say recently, for me, recently is like 3 minutes ago. For me, long term is like 2 days ago, right? So give us the context, like what for you is recent. And I have the suspicion that for you, recently is actually quite a long time. It's more than a few months. And coming back to that, you talk about, I have to be with my feelings, right? And that's great. But how about using more evocative language? Like, and you start this like 30-day journey tomorrow, correct? Tomorrow, it's a new beginning. Go! Once again, tomorrow, it's a new beginning. Go! For 30 days, me and my feelings will be alone. So using time words properly can really give you the space to build stories that actually evoke a lot of emotion. Really? That's 5 minutes. Wow.
Yeah, you've been vibing, man. Good stuff.
So, in the end.
Go!
I give my time back to the January.